Hi everyone, this is Jomar Saga LPT and I will be your MC for the first Piedad District online capacity building on reading and development, teaching reading strategies in the new normal setup. Before we begin, I hope everybody is fine and in the same place right now, still following social distancing. Right? At this point of time, I request everyone to please be still as we sing the Philippine National Anthem to be followed by an opening prayer via audio-visual presentation.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فقال ربكم ادعوني أستجب لكم آمين يا رب العالمين الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين اللهم اجمع شامل المسلمين والكريستيان والأمة في مدينة دباو وسلم دائما مجتمعنا هذا بالسلم والأمن والتقدم في بلدنا هذا آمين يا رب العالمين ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على خير خلقه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين يا رب العالمين.
In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you today to praise and worship you and give you thanks for all the things you continue to provide for ourselves and our families. Father, we humbly ask for forgiveness for all the times we have offended you, when we forget to acknowledge your presence in the image of our brothers and sisters and for moments we fail to be good stewards of the blessings you have given us. Continue to guide and protect each one of us, Lord, that we may always walk in the lights of your everlasting love and mercy. Grant us, Father, with your comfort in times of distress and with your strength in times of weakness. Bestow upon us your unending grace and healing, that we in turn become instruments of gentleness and compassion to others. We ask all this in the name of your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, with the prayer and the intercession of our Blessed Mother. Amen.
Manama, mawantog ka. Warag po ko iling ko'y ko. O Diyos, kahibulungan ka. Busa ikaw lang ang simbahon ko. Busa ikaw lang ang alagaran ko.
We would like to acknowledge our PSDS in a person of Dr. Leonida A. Polentinos, to our District Coordinating School Head, Dr. Janeth R. Albino, District Reading and Pagbasa Coordinators in the person of Mr. Francis Darrell M. Chato and Ma'am Nicochar Gigi Emperado, to our District Phil-Iri Coordinators in the person of Ma'am Maria Adel Huson Ibabaw for English and Ma'am Marjorie Sweet Tamon for Filipino. And to our participants this day, our School Reading and Pagbasa Coordinators, thank you so much for your support. Right, to give us an opening remarks, let's hear from our District Coordinating School Head, Dr. Janeth R. Albino.
To our District Supervisor, Dr. Leonida A. Polentinos, to our District Reading TWG led by Sir Francis Chato, to all participants, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Today is our district online capacity building on reading and development, which encourage us to reach out our non-readers and frustration readers in our respective schools. Let us continue to have positive attitude towards this new normal setup of our reading and development program, in which our readers at risk will be able to improve using these given reading materials and e-tool. So I welcome you all to our district online capacity building on reading and development. May we learn a lot from this endeavor and we apply this to our respective schools. Again, welcome everyone and good morning.
Thank you so much, Dr. Janeth. At this point, our District Pagbasa Coordinator, Ma'am Nicochar Gigi Emperado, will give us the overview and the rationale of our capacity building.
To our supportive and active District Supervisor, Dr. Leonida A. Polentinos, District Reading Coordinating School Head, Dr. Janeth R. Albino, District English Phil-Iri Coordinator, Ma'am Adel Ibabaw, Ma'am Marjorie Sweet Tamon, District Filipino Phil-Iri Coordinator, Sir Darrell Francis Chato, District English Reading Coordinator, and to all English and Pagbasa coordinators of 16 schools of Piedad District, pleasant and blessed morning, everyone. Last May 27, 2020, the Office of the Regional Director released a memorandum mandated to start the implementation of the 8-week plans to ensure that the reading levels of the concerned struggling readers are improved to instructional level before the opening of the school year 2020-2021 on August 24, 2020. Davao City Division Office addressed the call-up of the DepEd Regional Office by issuing a Memorandum Number 535, Series 2020, dated May 29, 2020. The subject of the said memo is the submission of the action plan on district reading remediation for non-readers and learners under frustration level. DepEd Division Davao City has crafted the division reading plan, which will address the needs of the non-readers and frustration level readers. In relation to this, Piedad District had already submitted the action plan to the division office to address the context of concern and reading amidst the crisis brought by the pandemic COVID-19, following the protocols and safety for all school and district personnel, teachers, parents, and learners. The 16 schools of Piedad District have prepared the reading remediation and intervention tools to be utilized by the target learners. This 8-week program will start its full implementation on June 29, 2020 and will end on August 21, 2020. Piedad District has designed an activity proposal for the implementation of the 8-week reading remediation and intervention program through webinars. First, Piedad District Online Capacity Building on Reading Development Teaching Reading Strategies in the New Normal Setup. This is the proposed title of Piedad District for the activity proposal. Okay, date and time, June 25, 26, 2020. Venue, platform, Piedad District Reading and Development Official Page, Facebook page. Participants, District Reading and Development Unit, District Coordinating School Head, District Reading and Pagbasa Coordinators, and District English and Filipino PhilEri Coordinators. The rationale of this activity proposal, school year 2019-2020 recorded a significant number of frustration and non-readers in Piedad District amidst the challenges brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. The number of readers under frustration level and non-readers must be given utmost attention. The threat for a longer period of staying at home by the learners will be challenging for the education sector. To ensure that no child will be left behind despite any circumstances, Piedad District will conduct measures to continue educating and making our learners literate. This can be made possible by creating a contingency plan of action to track our learners, specifically the learners classified under these categories, to scaffold their learning even at home. The plan shall stipulate pre-implementation, implementation, and post-implementation phases. The Public Schools District of Piedad initiates the Reading Development Program in support of the thrust of the Department of Education to make every Filipino child a reader. This program is also anchored on the principle that every learner should be able to read in his or her grade level. Moreover, this Reading Development Program unit primarily focuses on two key areas. First, the enhancement of teacher skills in teaching reading equipped with appropriate pedagogical skills and content knowledge on teaching how to read and appreciate reading. Second, improvement the reading performance of our learners in English and Filipino as reflected in the school reading profile of the 16 schools in the district. To ensure the attainment of the first key area of this program, the Reading Development Unit of Piedad District aims to conduct series of online capacity building webinars via its official Facebook page. The first in line is the online capacity building on reading and development, focusing on teaching reading strategies in the new normal setup. General objectives: the conduct of the online capacity building on reading development and teaching reading strategies in the new normal setup aims to equip reading teachers with knowledge and skills in teaching reading in the new normal educational setup. Produce various reading resources that can address the existing needs of the new normal setup and may be added in the existing learning resources of the district, and provide a platform for the teachers to be able to raise their challenges, concerns, and needs in terms of teaching reading in the new normal setup. Our first webinar for the 8-week reading remediation program, titled First District Capacity Building on Reading Development, Teaching Reading Strategies in the New Normal Setup. There are 7 sessions to be facilitated by our very own district reading coordinator, none other than Mr. Francis Darrell Chato. Okay, so first session, Reading Assessment and Intervention. Second session, the Literacy Curriculum. Third session, Strategies in Teaching Reading, in Teaching Phonological Awareness, Alphabet Knowledge, and Word Recognition in Filipino. Session 4, Strategies in Teaching Reading on Shifting from Filipino to Word Recognition and Alphabet Knowledge and Word Recognition in English. Okay, that's all. Thank you. God bless everyone.
Alright, another message from our dear PSDS in the person of Dr. Leonida A. Palentinas.
To all the school heads of Piedad District, to our District Reading Coordinating School Head, Dr. Janet R. Albino of Bangkas Heights Elementary School, to our District Reading and Pagbasa Coordinators, we have Francis Darrell Chato of Bangkas Heights Elementary School and Nico Char Gigi Imperado of Piedad Central Elementary School. To all the school reading and pagbasa coordinators, a pleasant morning to everyone. As we all know, according to Lloyd Alexander, reading is one of the most marvelous adventures anyone can have. One of the basic reasons why reading is important is that it helps us grow mentally, emotionally, and psychologically. Every book gives us an opportunity to learn new things and explore new ideas. Reading books increases our knowledge and makes us smarter. That is why reading comes first before all others. As per district result, we have a non-readers in English, we have 15, and for Filipino, we have 18. For our prostration readers, we have 902 in English and 855 in Filipino, with a total number of teachers 351. So because of this result, today we come up with our first Piedad District online capacity building on reading and development in the new normal educational setup. And I am so happy and delighted of our simultaneous launching in reading, assessment, and intervention last Monday, June 29. My heartfelt thanks to the initiators of this activity as well as to the school heads of Piedad District. So these are the topics that we will be discussing throughout the day with our knowledgeable speakers. So first, we have the reading, assessment, and intervention. We have the literacy curriculum, the strategies in teaching reading and teaching phonological awareness, alphabet knowledge, and word recognition and Filipino, and the strategies in teaching reading on shifting from Filipino to word recognition and alphabet knowledge and word recognition in English. In the afternoon, we have these vocabulary strategies, the fluency and its importance to comprehension, and the comprehension, background, and strategies. So the division office, for the information of everyone, is monitoring us from time to time. as to the schedule of the implementation, the nature of modality and the delivery of implementation, the daily activities in the 8-week curriculum program, the learning resources, the supplementary reading materials, the linkages partnership with community stakeholders, and the assessment and the reading level. So lastly, I just hope that this webinar or activity that we will be conducting today will not come in vain. All learnings will be applied and implemented to our respective learners in your classes. So consider this webinar as an investment. And also, please do not forget that we have our aim why we conduct this activity. So first, we have to equip the reading teachers knowledge and skills in teaching reading in the new normal educational setup. Second, we have to produce various reading resources that can address the existing needs of the new normal setup and may be added in the existing learning resources of the district, and to provide a platform to the teachers to be able to raise their challenges, concerns, and needs in terms of teaching reading in the new normal setup. So again, I want you to participate, to listen attentively, and please cooperate whatever activities that our resource speakers will be asking us to do. So thank you and congratulations in advance. God bless us all.
Today, we are very blessed to have our division reading focal person in the person of PSDS Narmela Espedido for her inspirational message.
Good day, everyone. The Schools Division of Davao City, through the leadership of our SDS Rinaldo M. Giliana, CESO 5, and our two very active, very supportive ASDS, Sir Bass and Ma'am Emma, and together with our CID Chief, Ma'am Sifra, we are initiating the Reading Development Program in support of the thrust of the Department of Education to make every Filipino child a reader, anchored to the principle that every child should be able to read in his or her grade level. This Reading Development Program unit primarily focuses on two areas: enhancement of teachers' skills in teaching reading, along with sufficient pedagogies that would address teaching how to read and appreciate reading, and improving the school's reading performance of our learners in English and Filipino. School year 2019-2020 recorded several number of frustration and non-readers in Davao City Division. Amidst the COVID-19 challenges, this number of frustration and non-readers must be given utmost attention. The threat for a longer period of staying at home by the learners will be challenging for the education sector. To address the gaps, Davao City Division is now conducting measures to continue educating and making our learners literate by creating a contingency plan to track our learners, particularly the frustration level learners and non-readers. Our plan included pre-planning, during implementation, and post-implementation phases. In order to address the gap, there is a need to strengthen the reading proficiency of every learner and nurture a culture of reading through the Learning Continuity Plan. Our division has the following objectives: improve the reading abilities of frustration readers and to make non-readers become instructional readers. Create a reading program in English and Filipino for second and third quarter this 2020. Conduct webinars and virtual meetings to capacitate teachers to improve competencies of frustration level learners and non-readers. Develop materials for the different types of readers, non-readers, frustration level learners. conduct online webinars and virtual meetings to all elementary and secondary reading teachers in schools through the district pool of trainers, monitor and evaluate the conduct and progress of the reading program in the elementary and secondary schools, conduct survey through M&E survey link, submit reports about the reading progress of the reported frustration and non-readers to the district, division, and regional offices. Piedad District Reading Program in partnership with the Division of Davao City is made possible under the strong and able leadership of your Public Schools District Supervisor, Dr. Leonida Polentinos, together with the trustworthy school heads and school reading coordinators, as well as your district coordinators. Your district follows a framework and process flow. This project is guided with following input process, output process flow. The program started with getting organized, capacity building, crafting of leveled materials for reading, the implementation process, the assessment, tracking of pupils' performance, and now you have your capacity building for your teachers. After the process of assessment of improvement and analysis of the result is needed for checking and or tracking of progress. The success of this reading project will greatly be attributed on the commitment of the school officials, stakeholders, and parents who will form part of the implementation. Piedad District envisions of school children who are functionally literate individuals who can comprehend what they are reading and develop understanding text and has genuine love for reading. The Piedad District team, congratulations for this activity that you have today, and may the Lord continue to bless the works of your hands from this day on and onwards. For our core concern of our job, the learners, let us all join in hands in making our goal possible. Keep safe, everyone. God bless.
Alright, let's keep the momentum on hype as we proceed to our session proper. But before we turn the time over to our speaker, allow me to introduce him. He is a faculty member of Bangkas Heights Elementary School for almost 5 years. And he is now currently finishing his doctorate degree at the Holy Cross College of Davao. And he is our district reading coordinator, none other than Mr. Francis Darrell M. Chato.
Thank you so much, Sir John, for that very wonderful and humbling introduction. Before I formally begin with the first session for today, allow me to express my heartfelt gratitude to our very own PSTS, Dr. Leonida A. Valentinos, and our District Reading Coordinating School Head, Dr. Janet R. Albino, for allowing the conduct of the very first ever Piedad District online capacity building and me as your resource speaker for today's discussion. I would also like to express my gratitude to my co-reading coordinators in the district, um, in the persons of our district pagbasa coordinator, Ma'am Nicochar Gigi Emperado, ma'am, and to our PhilErie coordinators both for English and Filipino, Ma'am Maria Adele Ibabaw and Ma'am Marjorie Sweet Tamon respectively. Morning po sa inyong lahat. And of course, my endless gratitude and paghanga sa ating school reading and pagbasa coordinators from the 16 schools of Piedad District. Hello po sa inyong lahat and welcome to our first Piedad District online capacity building. And thank you so much for your unwavering support to all the plans of Piedad District Reading and Development Unit. So for us to start this morning's discussion, allow me to share to you my screen just for a moment. As you can see, for this morning session, we have divided the morning into 4 different topics and I hope all of us are very much ready. Sana po lahat nakapag-breakfast na. May tubig na po ba kayo dyan sa tabi nyo? I hope you have your notebooks and your pens with you, for we will be having a very comprehensive discussion this morning, and I hope I will be able to impart to everybody some sort of information and new knowledge that we can apply in our respective stations. Right? So without any much further ado, let's begin our first session. Alright, so the first topic for today's discussion will be a review on reading, assessment, and intervention. We intentionally added this in our capacity building so that we will be able to refresh our memory in terms of the fundamentals of reading, assessment, and intervention in the hope of guiding our decision making in terms of our 8-week remediation program. And for us to start the first session, I have here an activity, and I'd like you to silently read the selection on the next slide, and I will be throwing out questions later on. Okay? Okay. So please do read the selection on the screen. Okay, I guess tapos na tayong lahat sa pagbasa ng selection. How was it? Were you able to identify or recognize words in the selection projected on the screen? Well, I would probably know for a fact that you would say yes. We can identify, I recognize the words on the screen right now, like my teacher is very good. She teaches us so well. We can recognize them easily. Am I right? Now, were you able to understand what you just read? Very good. I'm sure the answer would be yes. We were able to grasp the message of the entire selection, and it's all about the teacher who is very good, who teaches so well, and who gives opportunities to her learners to learn on their own pace and space. Very well. Now let's proceed to the next one. I have here another set of selection. I'd like you to do the same thing. Kindly try to read what's projected on the screen. I can hear you from afar. That's right. Okay. I'm sure you were able to blend the sounds of the letters and recognize those letters or words in front of you, like man, he, dio, seo, jal, miok, ge, shom, nida. Right? You're able to sound out those words. But the question is, were you able to understand what you have read? Basically, no. Because personally, I also did not understand anything. And just a sort of disclaimer, these are actually Romanized translation of a Korean statement, but I do not know what they mean. Okay, let's proceed to the next one. There you go. How about that? Can you still decode the words? Can you still recognize the words? Definitely not. How about understand anything? The answer is still no. We can no longer decode and we can no longer understand. That, ladies and gentlemen, my dearest school reading and pagbasa coordinator, is a very simple activity that would define reading. So what is reading? There are actually a lot of definitions of reading, but I would like to focus our attention on the simple view of reading by Hoover and Co. Because for me, this would simplify everything and this would sum up everything already. Now, according to their model, Reading comprehension can be achieved when the reader has adequate decoding skills and linguistic comprehension. What do we mean by decoding? Decoding refers to efficient word recognition. Yung kung papaano natin mare-recognize ang isang salita. Just like the simple view of reading. It is our ability to process the mechanical aspect of reading, how to combine, how to blend sounds to form a unit, which is called a word. Now, linguistic comprehension, the linguistic comprehension, on the other hand, refers to the ability to take lexical information and derive sentence and discourse interpretations. Simply put, when we say linguistic comprehension, ito yung ability ng isang tao na maintindihan ang meaning nung kanyang binabasa. So para magkaroon talaga ng reading, for us to be able to say that reading really takes place, it should be a combination of decoding and linguistic comprehension. In short, decoding and language comprehension or linguistic comprehension are both necessary for reading. The development of one of these constructs will positively influence the development of the other. So kung hindi masyadong na-develop yung decoding aspect ng reading, mahihirapan yung individual na ma-develop yung linguistic comprehension. And though magkaiba yung dalawa, yung decoding at comprehension, in order for one of them to be considered good already, and for a particular person to be considered a good reader, good performance in both of these areas are required, which therefore make these skills inseparable. Hindi talaga pwedeng maghiwalay yung decoding at saka yung linguistic comprehension. It is important to be able to describe both elements of this equation in order to fully describe reading performance. Now, how do we describe the reading performance of our learners? Any idea? Paano natin malalaman or paano natin mabibigyan ng quantity yung reading performance ng isang bata? How do we do it? That's correct. This may be achieved through the use of assessment. So alam na natin na isang individual, lalong-lalo na yung ating mga mag-aaral, they have this ability to read. However, we have to quantify their reading performance in terms of that simple view of reading. I mean, between decoding and comprehension. And for us to be able to do that, you're right, we have to use assessment. Now, let's review on the aspects of assessment this time. So ano ba yung assessment? When we say assessment, it is the process of collecting, synthesizing, and interpreting classroom information. Simply put, when you say collecting, we are gathering. When you say synthesizing, we are putting them together. And when you say interpreting, we are making sense out of it. Okay? So when we do assessment, the main purpose is for us to be able to collect information. What information? Information about the reading performance of a child, and then synthesize these information and then interpret them later on. So how do we assess our learners? There are a lot of ways to do assessment in terms of reading. We can assess them by group administering, or a sit-down paper and pencil test, or by conducting individualized one-on-one assessments. We have been doing this for the past years already. I'm sure you're very familiar with this by now. But the next question is, why do we assess our learners? Bakit pa natin sila ina-assess? The primary purpose of assessment, gaya ng sabi ko kanina, is to gather enough information about a learner's performance in reading to facilitate our decision making in terms of providing intervention to the learners. what kind of information do we get from the assessment then? We do not only look at the difficulties of our learners in terms of reading. When I say reading, both decoding and comprehension, but we also diagnose or record what the children can already do. Why is it important for us to identify not only their weaknesses but also their strengths? This will now lead us to the new paradigm of assessment because traditionally, ang kinukuha lang natin is kung saan mali yung bata, kung saan siya may weaknesses. But in the new paradigm of assessment, discovering the needs and strengths of the child, us teachers can provide suitable reading experiences for them. Kumbaga, we root on their strengths for us to be able to help them develop their needs. Okay? So that is the new paradigm of assessment. Pero, bakit ba merong assessment? And what is its connection to our job as a reading teacher? Assessment is used to gather information. And once we have that information already, we are going to use those results to guide our intervention process. So the reading instruction now will start with a child's performance at the beginning of the school year. Then, by providing classroom assessment and individualized assessment, we can create a classroom instruction informed by assessment. So sa classroom assessment, this means that yung sa group screening test natin, yung by group na assessment, while yung individual naman is yung one-on-one. So from the group assessment, we can create a classroom instruction informed by the results of the assessment. While yung individual assessment naman ng mga bata will help us to be able to provide individual learners with a specialized instruction. At ano yung basis ng specialized instruction natin? Yung results ng assessment. To give you a clearer picture on that, for example, I have 20 children inside my classroom. Yung 20 children na yon, yung 20 learners na yon, binigyan ko ng reading assessment, silent reading assessment. Pinabasa ko sila ng isang passage, tapos merong mga tanong. After which, I checked their answers and found out that from the 20, only 10 of them can understand the passage given the result of 75% and up, while the remaining 10 can no longer or are having difficulty in understanding or comprehending the passage. So yung 10 yun, bibigyan ko ng individualized assessment una. Sila muna yung bibigyan ko ng individualized assessment for me to be able to create a specialized instruction for the 10 of them. Kasi sila yung mga nahihirapan. So isa-isa ko silang pinabasa. And nung pinabasa ko sila isa-isa, I found out na yung isa nahihirapan maintindihan yung passage because nahihirapan pa siyang magbasa ng mga basic sight words. Pero marunong na siyang mag-blend ng mga sounds. Marunong na siyang mag-CVC. Yun nga lang, hindi pa siya masyadong marunong sa mga high-frequency words. While yung isa naman, hindi talaga marunong mag-decode or mag-blend ng mga sounds. So from the individualized assessment, makikita natin as classroom teachers kung ano yung mga kahinaan at kung saan magaling na yung bata para doon tayo magsisimula. Okay? From the classroom instruction and specialized instruction, we are hoping that the child's reading performance at the end of the school year will be enhanced, will be developed. Okay? So that's it for the first session this morning about reading, assessment, and intervention. I hope we were able to cover everything up. I hope I was able to clarify some things on you. Sana po na activate natin yung prior knowledge natin about these topics because I know for a fact na alam na natin lahat ng to. Kailangan lang natin ng refresher. Okay? So, let's now move on to the second session of today's discussion. And this second session will be focused directly on literacy curriculum. For our second session this morning, we will be having a review on literacy curriculum. For us to do that, can you still remember our literacy curriculum and the domains found therein? Ano ba yung literacy curriculum? From the word itself, literacy would cover up our curriculum guides for mother tongue, Filipino, and English, all in one direction to make a child a literate individual. Right? So how many domains do we have in our literacy curriculum? Can we still remember? How many? 28? 17? Alright, we'll find out later on. Just like what I told you a while ago, our first two sessions will be more on refresher. Okay? To activate our prior knowledge para ma-refresh yung memory natin on these topics. Alright. So why is it important for us to align our reading instruction with our literacy curriculum? Simply put, because if we don't align our reading instruction to the literacy curriculum, pag iba yung domains na tina-target ng ating reading instruction at iba naman yung hinihingi ng ating literacy curriculum, our efforts will be wasted. The purpose of our reading instruction will be defeated in the end. So para walang masayang, kailangan ma-anchor talaga natin yung lahat ng activities natin, lahat ng plans natin doon sa ating literacy curriculum. So let's dive in and recall and refresh our memory on our literacy curriculum. So the first domain for our literacy curriculum is oral language. This refers to one's knowledge and use of the structure, meanings, and uses of the language of literacy. Ito, ang oral language ay nakikita natin sa grades 1 and 2. The next domain is phonological awareness. This refers to working with rhymes, words, syllables, and onsets and rhymes. Learners should be able to identify the rhyming words, the number of syllables in each word, and detect the beginning and ending sound in the words they hear. The third domain is book and print knowledge. This refers to knowing and being acquainted with books and how print works. So, yung book and print knowledge, mostly doon sa books. Yung anong part ng book to, anong purpose ng part na ito, and so on and so forth. While alphabet knowledge refers to recognizing, naming, and sounding out all the upper and lowercase letters of the alphabet. Medyo may confusion na nagaganap sa phonological awareness at saka alphabet knowledge in the field. Kasi nai-interchange ng ating ibang classroom teachers ang kaibahan ng phonological awareness tsaka ng alphabet knowledge. But just to define the gap between the two, phonological awareness is just developing within our learners the awareness that there are sounds, that a word is composed of sounds, that a word is composed of syllables, that a word has a beginning and an ending sound. Hearing, there's no attachment of symbols yet. Pinapakinggan pa lang ng bata. Minamaster pa lang ng bata na yung word na mama, meron siyang dalawang syllable. Ma at saka ma. Na yung syllable na ma, meron siyang dalawang tunog. Yung at saka yung a. Pero hindi pa nila alam yung letter na yon. Kasi nga, phonological awareness pa lang. Binibuild up pa lang natin yung capacity ng bata na maintindihan na yung words ay composed of sounds and syllables. Bakit natin kailangang i-build up yung capacity na yon? Para hindi mahirapan yung bata pagdating sa alphabet knowledge. Kasi meron na siyang prior knowledge. Yung word na mama may dalawang syllables. Pag inintroduce na ni teacher yung letter, ito pala yung letter ng at saka yung a. Para mabuo ko yung mama, kailangan ko yung letter na M at saka yung A. Ulitin ko para maging mama. Yun na yung alphabet knowledge. Okay po? Let's proceed. The fifth domain is word recognition. By the term itself, it refers to the ability to identify a written word by sight or by deciphering the relationship between the sounds of spoken language and the letters in written language. So, ito na yung pinagkabit na yung mga letters at saka sounds. Now, fluency, which is the sixth domain, refers to the ability to read orally with speed, accuracy, and proper expression. Doon lang po natin ma-identify na fluent yung bata kapag meron na yung tatlo. Kompleto yung tatlong yan, yung speed, accuracy, and proper expression. The seventh domain is spelling. It refers to being able to convert oral language sounds into printed language symbols. Pag mata-transfer niya talaga, siya na mismo ang magsusulat ng mga words na identify niya sa word recognition. Now, grammar awareness, which is the eighth domain, refers to one's knowledge of language features and sentence structures in written language as this differs from oral language. So, yung mga rules na ngayon, dito na i-include sa grammar awareness. The ninth domain is composing. It refers to being able to formulate ideas into sentences or longer texts and represent them in the conventional orthographic patterns of written language. The 10th domain is vocabulary. It refers to one's knowledge of words and their meanings in both oral and print representations. So kung naalala niyo po yung previous capacity building natin, we tried to explain vocabulary in a manner wherein if a person can create an image of that word in his or her mind, then that person has a rich vocabulary. Pero pag hindi siya makaka-create ng image sa kanyang isipan, then there is no understanding. But we will be dealing more about vocabulary in our later sessions this afternoon. Now, the 11th domain is listening comprehension. Well, it refers to the complex and active process in which vocabulary knowledge is a crucial component and which requires an intentional and thoughtful interaction between the listener and the text. Okay? So, importante yung vocabulary para ma-master ng bata yung listening comprehension. Kasi nga, wala siyang printed text, nakikinig lang siya. At from what he or she has heard, he or she should be able to understand the message. Unless otherwise, there's no listening comprehension. The 12th domain is reading comprehension. This refers to a complex and active process in which vocabulary knowledge is also a crucial component and which requires an intentional and thoughtful interaction between the reader this time and the text. Minsan pa nga, mas nahihirapan pa yung bata sa reading comprehension kaysa sa listening comprehension. Meron din namang iba na nahihirapan sa listening comprehension at medyo nadadalian sa reading comprehension. It really depends on the reading performance of the child or the performance of the child. Kaya importante talaga yung assessment in the beginning para malaman natin yung needs at saka strengths ng bata. Kasi pag nakita natin na medyo magaling na siya sa listening comprehension, then we are going to root on that strength para ma-develop yung reading comprehension niya. Kasi nga, kung titingnan natin yung definition ng listening at saka ng reading comprehension, there's only one word that is different. The word listener and the word reader. But technically, this listener and this reader refers to one person, and that is the child. So kung kaya ng bata yung listening comprehension, walang imposible doon sa reading comprehension. And vice versa. Pag kaya niya yung reading comprehension, makakaya niya rin yung listening comprehension. It's just a matter on how we scaffold the learning process of our learners. Let's proceed to the next domains. All right, the 13th domain is attitude towards language, literacy, and literature. Diba? Attitude towards the three L's refers to having a sense of being a reader and developing individual choices of and tastes for text to read for various purposes such as for learning or for pleasure. Ito na yung pag magaling na yung batang magbasa, dapat ang sunod nating i-develop sa kanya is yung attitude towards language, literacy, and literature. Kasi yung minsan, nakakaligtaan natin, magaling niya yung batang yan. So, bahala na siya. Which is actually a no-no. Kailangan, pag magaling na yung bata, we still provide them with opportunities to develop more of their reading skills. Especially in terms of developing inner purposes. Bakit ba ako magbabasa? Am I going to read to learn? Or gusto ko lang talaga magbasa for pleasure? Okay? And you know what? You can also use this domain in improving the reading performance of our learners. Especially if we target their attitude on reading for pleasure. Kasi pag alam natin yung interest ng bata, mabibigay natin yung gusto niya. Tapos, ma-activate natin yung engagement niya dun sa reading. Diba? Now, the 14th domain, which is the last domain, by the way, is study skills. It refers to a general term for those techniques and strategies that help a person read or listen for specific purposes with the intent to remember. So, ito na yung panahon na mabibigyan natin ng opportunity sa mga bata na to develop their study skills. Kung saan they can be left on their own already to develop themselves. Okay? So those, ladies and gentlemen, my dearest reading school reading and pagbasa coordinators are the 14 domains of literacy. So sige lang, dahan-dahan, along the years, as the years pass by, I'm sure lahat tayo masasaulo ang 14 domains of literacy na yan. Kasi nga, ginagawa na natin yan araw-araw. Okay? So we already know the different domains of literacy curriculum. The question is, sa dami nun, ano lang ba yung target ng reading instruction natin dapat? Okay? The domains of literacy assessed by Phil Erie are actually these three: word recognition, fluency, and comprehension. Therefore, pwede rin nating i-anchor yung ating reading instruction on these three alone. However, yung word recognition, it can be affected or influenced by phonological awareness and the alphabet knowledge of the learner. So, hindi rin natin pwedeng kaligtaan yung dalawang yan. Yung fluency naman, it will be affected by word recognition. Diba? So they are still connected. While comprehension, both for listening and reading, if you can still remember the definition a while ago, is influenced by vocabulary and oral language. Therefore, ito yung mga domains na kailangan nating ma-focus on our reading instruction. In short, ito yung mga domains na kailangan ma-target doon sa ating school reading program. So kung paano ba natin i-develop yung phonological awareness tsaka yung alphabet knowledge ng mga bata para ma-improve yung kanilang word recognition. What activities are we going to provide to improve their word recognition, to improve their fluency? At ano yung mga activities na ibibigay natin para ma-improve yung vocabulary development ng mga bata at ang kanilang oral language para ma-improve yung kanilang listening and reading comprehension. Imagine your schools pag lahat ng mga bata proficient sa tatlong domains na yan because of a very effective reading program? May babagsak pa kaya sa math at saka sa science? Sa araling panlipunan na pala yan ngayon, sa araling panlipunan sa TLE, I doubt na meron. Okay? Because for sure, if we are able to develop these three domains by targeting those four domains outside, then we will be able to create to hone a literate child. Kaya nga tinawag siya na domains of literacy. Okay? Okay, so napag-uusapan rin lang natin ang mga domains of literacy which are assessed by PhilErie. Pag-usapan na rin natin yung mga miscues na ating kinakaharap every time we do the assessment. Kasi nga, gaya ng sabi ko kanina, we do assessment to gather enough information on the reading performance of the child in terms of their needs and their strengths. And for us to do that, kailangan aware din tayo dun sa mga possible miscues o mga pagkakamali habang nagbabasa at ano yung mga posibleng dahilan bakit nagkakaroon ng miscues. And as a teacher, ano yung pwede nating gawin para matulungan yung bata na ma-develop or ma-improve yung kanyang reading gamit yung results ng assessment natin with the miscues and all sort of that. Okay? So let's now identify the different miscues, the causes of these miscues, and the possible intervention that we can provide for us to be able to eradicate these miscues in the future. Okay, sige, so simulan natin. There are actually 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 miscues na napapaloob dun sa ating PhilErie. We will discuss them one by one as briefly as possible. Okay, let's start with the first miscue. The first miscue is omission. An omission error occurs when the reader omits a unit of written language, such as a word, parts of words, several words, or even a sentence. Ano ba yung mga posibleng dahilan kung bakit nagkakaroon ng omission ang bata habang nagbabasa? The reader reads fast that he unconsciously omits reading a word, part of that word, or even a phrase or a sentence. Masyadong mabilis yung pagkabasa ng bata. Siguro dahil anxious siya, siguro dahil wala lang, gusto nilang talaga mabilis siya magbasa. Kaya may mga nakakalimutan siya. The second cause could also be because the reader does not know how to read the word, that part of the word, the phrase or a sentence, so he consciously omits it. For example, hindi niya talaga alam yung ibig sabihin. For example, hindi niya talaga alam paano basahin. Teka muna. Siguro hindi niya talaga alam kung paano basahin yung word na error. So, ang ginagawa niya, an omission occurs when the reader omits. So, hindi niya talaga binabasa. That could be a reason why merong omission error. So, as a teacher, ano yung pwede natin gawin? For the first cause, yung unconsciously omitting a word, a part of word, or a phrase or a sentence, mas madali siyang bigyan ng remedyo. The teacher can advise the reader to slow down in reading. Dahan-dahan lang para hindi siya magkamali. Okay? The reader may be advised to use a marker while reading so that he or she can track the lines. Pero yung second omission cause is an indication that the pupil has a problem. The learner has a problem reading the words which are expected to be read in his grade level. So, yun na yung magiging basihan natin sa ating specialized reading instruction. Okay? So, habang nagbabasa yung bata during assessment, may nakaligtaan siya, ipabasa mo ulit. Pag nabasa niya na, with the caution na dahan-dahan lang, anak, kaya yan, dahan-dahan lang, basahin mo ulit. Pag dahan-dahan niya nang binasa, hindi niya pa rin mabasa, that's already an indication na meron ng something wrong. Diba? And that can already be a basis for the specialized instruction. Diba? Ang galing. Let's go to the second error. Okay, the second miscue is substitution. A substitution error is noted when a real word or words is substituted for the word in the text. Ano ba yung mga possible na rason kung bakit nagkakaroon ng substitution? The first one is this. The reader cannot decode the whole word, but he recognizes some letters in it. Therefore, he guesses the word. For example, may nakita siyang word na ground. Dahil hindi niya pa mabasa yung word na ground, ang ginawa na lang niya, dahil para magkapareho naman ng graphic identity yung ground at saka yung group. Kasi magkapareho ng simula, G-R-O-U. So, dahil alam niya yung word na group, yung ground, ginawa niyang group. Kasi hindi pa niya ma-decode yung word na ground. Nagbase na lang siya dun sa graphical identity ng ground na G-R-O-U. Kaya, ginawa niya na lang group. Yun yung first example ng substitution. The second example of substitution is this. The reader does not know the word, but he can read the other words in the sentence. Hence, he substitutes the unknown word in the sentence with a word that will fit the context. For example, yung word na mermaid. Hindi niya pa mabasa, hindi pa niya ma-decode yung word na mermaid. Pero, the mermaid was used in a sentence kung saan naintindihan ng bata na merong dagat, na merong lumalangoy. So, ginawa niya na lang niya, yung word na mermaid, pinalitan niya ng word na fish. Okay? So, that's another example of substitution. Ngayon, ano bang pwede nating gawin para matulungan yung bata na nagkakaroon ng substitution error? Okay? In the first example, we can encourage the child to carefully look at the details in a word. Or we can help them by providing more examples on how to decode words with the same graphical identity para hindi siya magkamali. Doon sa second example naman, we can advise the learner to slow down, look at each word carefully, and avoid guessing. And para mas ma-concretize yung effort na yan, pwede tayong magbigay ng mga activities kung saan we can develop the vocabulary aspect of the child para hindi siya nag-guess out at hindi niya papalitan yung mga words kung ano lang yung naintindihan niya sa context. Sayang yung strength niya, marunong na siyang umintindi ng context ng statement. Yun nga lang, merong problema dun sa decoding. Kaya ginawa niya, sinubstitute niya yung word na mermaid ng ibang salita na pwedeng ipasok dun sa context ng sentence na yun. Alright? So, let's proceed to the third miscue. The third miscue is mispronunciation. The most common, the most abused error in reading, mispronunciation. Pero there are causes for this, and we have to understand as well as a classroom teacher. Now, a mispronunciation miscue is one in which the word is pronounced incorrectly. Ano yung unang cause? The mispronunciation could be due to regional interference. For example, yung word na ano ba? Yung medyo bagay sa context natin. Let's say wet. Wet talaga yung naisip ko. Sige, wet. Yung word na wet. Sa ibang regional interference, yung wet na yan, pwede maging wet. Diba? The floor is wet. The floor is wet. Okay? Kaya nagkakaroon ng mispronunciation. Kasi, yung short E na wet, nagiging long E sa mother tongue niya. There is a carryover when the learner reads the Filipino and or English words because of that regional interference. However, since the grade 3 children have enough exposure reading in Filipino while the grade 4 children have sufficient exposure reading in English, these mispronunciations are considered as miscues already kahit pa meron siyang regional interference. So ano yung pwede nating gawin? Well, we can provide them with more activities to allow them to explore the different sounds in both languages, na pwede nilang ma-differentiate yung short E sound ng kanilang mother tongue dun sa sounds na hinihingi ng Filipino at saka ng English. Kasi nga, yung PhilErie natin ginagawa sa grade 3 at saka grade 4. It is expected from them na marunong na sila mag-differentiate ng sound sa mother tongue sa Filipino at saka sa English. So kahit pa merong regional interference, we still have to mark that as a miscue. The second cause is that the reader is reading the English words phonetically. Okay? Kasi nga sanay tayo sa Filipino na kung ano ang baybay, ganun din ang bigkas. Tulad ng mama, tayo, 'di ba? Kung ano yung baybay, siya yung bigkas. Kaso sa English hindi ganoon. For example, yung word na good, hindi siya pwedeng basahin na good kasi good 'yun. Yung food, hindi pwedeng food kasi nasanay yung bata na phonetically ganun ang pagkabigkas sa Filipino. Akala niya consistent dapat sa Filipino at saka sa English. But then again, uulitin ko lang na yung PhilErie natin is binibigay sa grades 3 and 4. So expected na marunong na sila mag-differentiate or mag-distinguish ng phonetical ability. So kung hindi niya pa rin kayang ma-differentiate yung Filipino at saka English phonetical aspects, then magiging miscue siya pagdating sa English. Lalo na pag binasa niyang mispronunciation as mispronunciation, kasi akala niya ganun din ang pagkabasa sa English, gaya ng pagkabasa sa Filipino. So, paano bang pwede nating gawin? Gaya ng sabi ko kanina, sa first case, tulungan lang natin yung bata, mabigyan ng mga different activities na ma-develop niya yung ability to differentiate his or her regional phonetical awareness dun sa Filipino at saka dun sa English. For the second case naman, we should be able to take note that the learner should be given extra instruction in reading English words. Kasi yun lang naman yung problema eh. Yung, kumbaga, strength niya na yun, di ba? In the new paradigm of assessment, strength na nung bata yun na marunong na siyang mag-blend out ng sounds. Mispronunciation. Marunong na siya. Problema na lang, kailangan niya ng extra instruction na hindi ganun ang pagbasa sa English, na may ibang phonetical structure ang English compared sa Filipino para ma-develop pa siya. Diba? We are using the strength of the learners to develop his or her needs. That's the new paradigm of assessment. So let's proceed to the fourth miscue. Okay, the fourth miscue is insertion. Insertion miscue results when a word or words is inserted in the passage. Iba to sa substitution, kasi substitution, nawawala yung word na ground, pinalitan ng group. Nawala yung word na mermaid, pinalitan ng fish. Yung insertion, meron siyang dinagdag. Ano yung cause nito? Maybe the learner reads fast that he or she anticipates some words that are not actually part of the text. Ano yung pinaka-common? Yung word na the, yung mga prepositions, at saka yung articles. Mahilig ang mga bata dyan. Napansin nyo? Okay, it is common for some learners to insert the article in the sentences. For example, yung sentence lang is, the children are in school. Pero kasi nga, nasana yung bata na merong the, automatically, ganito na yung pagkabasa niya, the children are in the school. Technically, kung titingnan mo lang naman talaga yung context ng statement, wala namang problema. Walang nabago sa meaning ng sentence. However, since we are trying to check the miscues of the learners in terms of word recognition, we are going to label that as a miscue or an error as insertion. Because nagkamali naman talaga siya, dinagdagan niya yung word. Dinagdagan niya ng word yung sentence. Pero ano ba yung pwede nating gawin? in both cases, the teacher should call the reader's attention to look carefully at the text. Kasi sayang, magaling na siya. 'Di ba? Strength niya na yun. Alam niya na ba basahin that children are in school. Eh sa sobrang talino niya, dinagdagan niya pa ng the. 'Di ba? Kasi nasanay siya na merong the in the school. Kasi sa previous reading materials, in the car, in the house, merong the talaga yung in tsaka yung noun. Kaya nung binasa niya na, nilagyan niya ng the. So para hindi lang maulit, just try to scaffold the learners while reading. Alright? So I hope you're still doing good. We're halfway there sa 8 na miscues. Let's continue to the 5th one. The 5th one is repetition. This miscue occurs when a word or phrase is repeated. From the word itself, repetition. Paulit-ulit, maraming load. In order to give him time to recognize the next word, which he or she finds difficult to decode, inuulit ng bata yung kung saan siya ngayon na word. So for example, yung sentence niya is, this miscue, kasi hindi siya marunong magbasa ng word na occurs. He cannot decode the word occurs. So ang ginagawa niya, inuulit niya yung this miscue, curse, yun. That's already repetition. The repetition is not on a curse, but the repetition is on this miscue. Okay? Pero yung cause niyan is, nahihirapan siya sa next word, kaya ginagawa niya, nag-stay siya dun sa previous word. The next cause is that he needs time to fully understand what he reads. So, eto yung nangyayari kapag nahirapan yung bata intindihin yung isang statement. So, ginawa niya, inulit niya. So, the miscue occurs when a word or phrase is repeated. When a word or phrase is repeated. Inulit niya. Kasi, gusto niyang i-clarify yung meaning nung binasa niya. Okay? That's one cause of repetition. So, ano ba yung pwede natin gawin? Kung titingnan natin, yung repetition is a little manifestation na okay na, kaya na nung bata, may kulang lang. So, the problem of the first reader could be on word recognition. So, scaffold lang natin yung word recognition skills ng bata. Bigyan natin ng maraming activities that would develop his or her word recognition skills. While yung second reader naman, the second example, may have problem on comprehension. So, target natin yung comprehension. Diba? So, yun lang. Sana all, repetition lang yung miscue. Problema pag nandun sa omission doon. Kasi lahat ng yun nasa phonological awareness ng bata yung problema, yung root cause. So, kailangan pa ng mahaba-habang proseso. But kung nandito na lang sa repetition, well, hindi na masyadong mahihirapan yung teacher. Okay? Now, let's proceed to the last two miscues. Transposition and reversal. Sinabay ko na lang kasi para naman silang magkapatid. Si transposition tsaka sa reversal. Kasi yung error na to, it occurs when, or these errors occur when the order of a word or words in the text is reversed or transposed. Simulan natin sa transposition. Transposition happens when there is a reversal of the order of the words in a phrase. Okay? Meaning yung word talaga yung pinagpalit. Bakit nangyayari yun? Sometimes the reader recognizes a familiar word at the end of a sentence, so he reads it first. Kasi for example, yung sa sentence natin dyan, na this error occurs when the order of a word or words in the text is reversed or transposed. Mas alam niya kung paano basahin yung transposed, so inuna niyang basahin yung transposed, kaso bago yung reversed. Okay? That's a transposition. Pinagpalit yung word. Sometimes he also intends to omit a difficult word in a sentence, then goes back and tries to read it. Okay? Hindi niya talaga mabasa yung transposed, pinabayaan niya muna, tapos nung parang nag-react na yung brain cells niya kung paano basahin yung transpose, binalikan niya. Okay? That is transposition. Pag sinabi naman nating reversal, eto na yung letters lang ang pinagpalit within a word. So for example, yung word na saw, imbis na saw, ang pagbabasa, ang ginawa ng bata, was. Or on, binasa niya ng no. Or yung dear, binasa niya as read. Okay? Bakit siya nagkakaroon ng ganon? Kasi mas parang doon mas komportable yung bata basahin yung word. I mean, mas common sa kanya yung was kaysa sa saw. Mas common sa kanya yung no kaysa sa on. Mas common sa kanya yung read kaysa sa dear. Same letters lang naman. So, pinagpalit-palit niya na lang, ginawa niyang ganon. So, that's an example of reversal. So, if this will be the case, the possible intervention should be ask the learner to reread the sentence or word. Pag ganun pa rin, then there is a problem with word recognition already. Okay? So, kailangan natin siya bigyan ng more and more activities on word recognition. So, those are the 8 miscues in conducting the oral assessment. I hope we were able to clarify things up, and I hope meron tayong natutunan from the first 2 sessions natin this morning. And I know medyo kailangan natin ng break. So we will be having a 30-minute break. We will be launching another premiere of the video mamaya after 30 minutes. So please stay tuned. So while nagbe-break tayo, pwede po kayong mag-CR, pwede po kayong minom ng tubig, pwede po kayong kumain. That's not a problem. Basta balik lang po kayo mamaya after 30 minutes or even before 30 minutes para po maka-standby tayo when the next session premieres. So, hanggang dito na lang muna sa first 2 sessions natin. Kasi meron pa tayong session 3 and session 4 for this morning. So, yung session 1 and session 2, it's merely on activating our prior knowledge, refreshing our memory. Now, for session 3 and session 4, we will be dealing with different strategies on how to teach phonological awareness, alphabet knowledge, word recognition, both in Filipino and English, and applying these strategies in the new normal educational setup. I hope you're excited for that because we are. So see you later after 30 minutes, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.